Everyone, I just want to give fair warning before you watch this video. It's a hard-hitting video. It was really hard to make. I talked to a friend who is currently living through the Ukraine situation. It's obviously based on her point of view, her situation, but it is really tough. It's a tough listen, so just kind of mentally prepare yourself for that. And at the end, I will link to various ways that you can support this cause if you choose to do so. But as I say, just go in eyes wide open. This is a tough one. So look, we're going to welcome Zhanna to the channel. Zhanna, obviously, horrendous situation. I know we've had a little bit of a talk beforehand, but I mean, how are you? Obviously, we've known each other for a long time, and I can't imagine a worse situation personally. But how are you, and how are you faring?
Well, our life has come down to just basically surviving these days, and it's been 8 days since our country has been at war with Russia. It all started on the 24th of February, and before that, we had some warnings about the about the war that might be happening in the future, but we all thought that it wouldn't come down to that, that that people just are not crazy enough to initiate something like that against a sovereign country that lives and used to live and prosper as any other country did, as any other
Did you
country.
like prepare in any way? Were you thinking this could happen and you kind of made provisions for it, or was it just almost like this? It's impossible that this can happen.
We had been receiving news and signals about the Russian army being how they kept coming to our border, and they claimed that they that they were conducting some trainings there, and that they had no intention of attacking us. But we still, like, I talked to my mom about that, and my mom was actually smarter than me. She stoked up, and now thanks to that, now we have enough food and basic supplies to go on for a little longer.
Yeah.
Um,
Where
a lot
were
of
you living? Were you kind of right on the border?
Yeah,
Okay.
I live and work in Kharkiv.
Yeah.
It's very close to the Russian border, and on the 24th of February, they said that if the war was to happen, our region was really dangerous because of its proximity to the border.
Yeah. Sure.
But we actually thought that if anything happens, that maybe war actions would concentrate in these regions in the east, the self-proclaimed two regions in the east of our country, and we didn't think that it would spread to the whole country, actually.
Sure.
And on the 24th of February, we woke up at 5 a.m. to bomb explosions all over the city. And then we learned that not only our city suffered this attack, but all big cities of Ukraine. So
Yeah.
all throughout Ukraine, from the west to the east. So it didn't only before those explosions happened, the president of of the country that attacked us said that they were launching a liberating special operation, which, in his words, concerned only these two self-proclaimed separate regions
Parts.
in the
Yeah.
east of
Okay.
our country. But they started attacking civilian cities, not only there. So we there was total panic on the streets that
I can
day.
imagine. Yeah, I couldn't
Everyone
imagine
tried to
anything more
flee.
crazy,
Uh,
honestly.
yes, everyone tried to flee somewhere, and I went. First, I didn't know what to do. I don't have a car. I have a cat, so I wouldn't ever leave without him.
Yeah.
And my relatives, friends, colleagues started to look for ways to move somewhere safer from the city. While I was looking for a ride, I went out on the street to get some like food supplies because I didn't have any, and there were long lines to supermarkets, to pharmacies.
Yeah.
People were running. Trying to get some cash from ATMs because we didn't know how the situation would turn up and
Well, I
would
heard
turn
some
out.
people queued literally hours to try and get money so that they could
Yes,
flee.
yes,
So they were able to flee and actually had some cash with them.
yes. While we were standing in those lines, there were also explosions, and we heard them, and we didn't know whether we would manage to hide somewhere if a bomb hits us. So like it was awful. And
Yeah,
then it was a miracle how I managed to escape from there. And my mom sent a car. She asked one of her colleagues to come and get me, and he actually just he did something incredible. Basically, under those regardless of those shootings, he came to the city and picked me up, and we went home with my cat,
amazing.
thankfully. And instead of driving just 3 hours, it took us like 6 hours to get to my mom's because
So
of
many
all
people
the
were fleeing.
dangers
Yeah,
on the road. And so yeah, there were traffic jams that would go on for miles because so many people were trying to escape and save their lives. And we actually had to make a couple of detours because they started to blow up bridges to block
wow.
ways for tanks to get through. So we there were problems with the internet. We didn't know where we were. We had to ask people, and we didn't know if we could trust those people because there are a lot of, you know, suspicious people from the attacking countries wandering on the streets. So yes, that was just the first day, and it was the beginning of the nightmare that is still going on. And
And
honestly,
how safe are you now? Do you think where you are, where you've been able to kind of flee to your mum's?
um, it's relatively quiet here, even though we hear air alarms
Yeah,
several times a day, and there is a basement in the door in the apartment house next to us. Um, all these 8 days, we have to listen closely to hear those air alarms and go to the basement and hide there. And uh, like just 2 days ago, we decided that we would just hide in our bathroom because it's not easy to pack up 3 cats because my mom also has 2 cats,
right.
and we don't want to leave them behind. So it's
No,
very
no.
hard to actually pack them up and carry them to the basement every time and then go back. So we just decided to stay here and come what may. But it's relatively quiet here because there are no bombings yet. And all we hear is some distant explosions because there are tanks coming through all the time, and our people trying to stop them in any way they can.
How do they do that? How do the people kind of try and get together to stop the tanks?
There are a lot of just not military people, just simply civilians who go voluntarily to protect our country,
Wow.
and they get weapons, and they make some different equipment for stopping tanks, and basically just throw themselves under tanks' wheels, and blow up bridges again, block bridges, trying not to let them through. It also affects our town because a lot of deliveries go through that bridge.
Yeah.
So there's already a deficit in food and other life supplies here, but it's better to not allow them pass
Yeah.
to pass.
So are you getting like food aid from various charity kind of organizations? Any sort of drops or anything like that, or how's that working?
From what I know, and this is a fact, a lot of all of our large cities get help from charities, and there are a lot of volunteers that agree to deliver humanitarian help to
Yeah.
those who need it. In our town, it's not yet relevant because we still have some food supplies
Still got some
here,
supplies. Okay.
and there are no active war actions. And I'm praying that there will be no actions here in the future either. But yes, I see a lot of people agreeing to drive and deliver food and medication and water to those who need it, even though there is a constant danger of being trapped in bombings and shootings and stuff like that. There
Yeah.
is no safe and calm minute here for us.
And have you been able to speak to any of your kind of friends, colleagues? Do you know how everyone else is doing?
We try to keep in touch, and we're really grateful for still having internet here. And
Yeah.
every single day we wake up and we appreciate the fact that we still have water and electricity, because any moment they can disappear. So there are chats where we keep in touch, and several times a day we just call in each other and tag each other and ask to describe the situation we're in right now. There are still people from my team that are trapped in Kharkiv, and
Really? Wow.
it's just a nightmare there. They have there are sirens, air alarms sounding every 10 minutes because there are air bombers, like I'm not sure what they're called in English.
Yeah, that
Planes.
makes sense. Yeah, like airplanes.
Yes, air raids happening there every 10 minutes, and they're bombing residential areas. They are destroying houses, schools. There was a case where they destroyed a boarding house for blind people. They actually destroy hospitals, and just 2 days ago, they hit my apartment building where I lived in Kharkiv, and thankfully there were no victims and everyone survived. But it's just really scary not
Oh, I
knowing
bet it's so scary. Yeah. So,
whether you'll be able to come back home and see your apartment ever again. Sorry, it's just really hard.
oh, I bet it is. I couldn't. I was saying before. I've got a family. 3 children. I couldn't honestly imagine going through what you're going through. It's especially in this day and age. I find it difficult to believe that it's still even a thing. It's still even an acceptable thing in the world. So, it's incredible.
It's just a crime against humanity. In his speech, in this hypocrite speech, he told the whole world that they would never touch civilians, and they will only be destroying military infrastructure, but they are actually destroying our cities, our whole country, and there are so many people who died, civilians. There are more than 2,000 killed people right now. I don't really know how many we've lost in our military ranks, because this information is confidential for now. But 2,000, more than 2,000 people, and it was the information that we learned yesterday. Today it's even more because the bombings keep happening, and 16 children among them. So it's really hard to put into words what's happening here. From
what is there anything that people do? And I know I'm going to link some of the charities that I've spoken about in another video down below in terms of aid, but other than that, is there anything that people can do to help?
Yes, we ask our friends abroad to unite here for us, to support us, and help the people who escape to other countries, to support them in any way you can, to go on friendly meetings and protests and show the world that you are with us, because it's really important for us right now. Also, I don't know how, but this has to be stopped. This is not something that should be happening in the 21st century or ever. This is basically a genocide. We are very optimistic, and we do believe that one day it will stop, and it will be a rebuilding, start rebuilding our beautiful cities. But we really need help and support, because what's happening here is just the repetition of the Second World War, and it's just the beginning, because the people who have started it are not going to stop. They are I'm not going to go into that, but it's not just the war for our country. We are defending Europe here, and we are defending other people here. So we really need your help and your support. In the Second World War, there were no progressive means that we have right now. There was no internet. There were no diplomatic relations that we have right now, and these are very powerful resources that can be used for stopping this aggression. So yes, any help is appreciated. There are some of my colleagues that are staying in Kharkiv, and they're constantly hiding in basements, in bomb shelters, and it's obviously cold there. They are getting sick. It's hard to get medication there, and it's dangerous to even go out on the street to get water, because there were incidents when people actually went out to get some water, and there was an airstrike, and there were just dead bodies all over the road. I would also like to say that I'm immensely proud of my people. This is the time where we're so united, we are so determined to win, and it's just incredible how strong we are. We are now stronger than ever, even though they tried to break us, but we've already proved to be so
it's unified everyone, isn't it?
Unified and indestructible, because there are people who there are women that are giving birth to children in those basements under airstrikes, and there are people who help them do that. We just sorry, it's my mom.
Okay.
Yes, so there are people who use grenades and sacrificing their lives, blow up tanks and
Wow.
these opponents' troops to actually save their country and the people. We all try to help each other. We at the cost of, I don't know, we help financially, we donate to support our army, and our
Yeah.
army is doing just an unimaginable thing. They are showing such strength that raises, that cultivates just incredible pride in us.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And our president is the symbol of trust and our strength right now. When the president of the United States tried to offer him help and said that he should be evacuated because obviously there are people trying who are out there to get him, and basically break our whatever we have in us that makes us go forward. Because our president is now like the symbol of our unity.
I've seen it a lot actually. I've seen it a lot in social medias, and yeah, sure.
Yeah, he not only did he refuse to leave the country, he said, "I don't need a ride. I need more weapons and more ammunition for my boys." And I wish I were a guy and could go and I was capable to go and defend my country, but I'm here and doing what I can, trying to raise awareness to help our army, to donate to the army, and we make Molotov cocktails and any means we can just to help the country and the people here, because we would do anything to protect it. Our country used to be beautiful and prospering, and now they've turned it into a ruin, and we can't forgive that. We won't forgive that. We didn't attack anyone. We didn't ask to be liberated. And this is what they claim. We tried to live our lives the best we could, and we used to have dreams, aspirations, plans, and now the only thing we can think about is how to survive.
Survival.
And whether or not our loved ones and our dear ones are safe. My screen time has gone up like 200% over the previous week, because I can't. I keep staring at the screen, reading news, and sorry, Мам, це тривога? Це по телевізору чи де?
Is that the airstrike?
Sorry, I'll go check. Yes, there is a siren, but
okay. Well, look after yourself. I don't want to.
No, it's for the city not close to mine. It's okay.
Right. Okay.
I have this app that goes off when there is an air siren. So where was I?
That must just be stressful in itself, is it? Just almost looking down to see where the strikes are coming in.
Yeah. And constantly messaging your friends and relatives to find out how they are. And we don't remember what it's like to listen to music or watch TV or or to do any routine things we used to do. We barely eat. We don't sleep. I probably over the last 8 days I slept like 3 to 4 hours
Wow.
overall. We're really exhausted, but this is our reality right now, and we don't give up. We will never give up. And the only thing we need right now is support and understanding from other people, because there is strong propaganda going on in the country that attacked us. It's a real informational war, besides the actual one that is happening
Yeah.
right now, because they are trying to hide all the facts. They are saying that they are not killing civilians, that there are no casualties on their side. Well, actually, they admitted yesterday having some, but the number doesn't even approximately
I'm
correspond
close.
to the actual number. Yes, here, and we see it with our own eyes. We experience it, and they are now trying to shut down all the media that actually, all the alternative sources that actually show them the real situation, and a lot of people there actually believe that there are no casualties among civilians. They believe that they're not destroying our cities, and they actually sent really young boys over to our country as a cannon meat. I don't know if it's
Wow. Yeah, I know what you mean.
if there is an
Like cannon fodder.
expression. Cannon fodder, yes. A lot of those boys just surrender, and they say that they never had an intention at attacking us. Of course, it's bullshit, but sorry if I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but you actually can see it's crystal clear that they're just children who don't know what they are doing, and it's such a shame that those people in their government just send these kids to
Yeah.
die for who knows what, for their ambitions and for their plans to just capture a country that never asked to be invaded. So that's the truth, and
Oh,
I
it's an incredible story, and it's so hard hitting, honestly, like hearing it firsthand, you know, what's going on a kind of day-to-day basis, how you're actually having to live or try to survive. It's not really living, it's surviving. And I'm sure everyone would say the same as me here. It's just, we hope that it's resolved as soon as it can possibly be resolved, and you know, you guys kind of get a chance to start to rebuild and try and get back to some sort of normality, because at the moment it's an impossible situation. And I hope that, you know, through even some people watching this, they'll decide to support, donate where it's appropriate to do so, and hopefully this just kind of raises some awareness to our communities. But as I said, I really hope and pray that you're able to stay safe, and your colleagues and your friends are able to stay safe, and it's over as soon as it possibly can be.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you very much for agreeing to do this interview with me. It means a lot, because I had to say something. We can't keep silent. We need the whole world to hear this and to help us.
Okay, Zhanna. Well, as I say, keep safe, and it's as good as it can be. It's been good to at least hear from you, and kind of hear that you've managed to escape out of that main city. That was the main thing for us. We're just kind of like, have you been able to kind of get yourself to some remote safety? But keep safe, and obviously keep determined. You know, it's kind of really impressive to see how kind of strong you still are in the given situation.
We're trying not to lose hope, and we'll definitely win. It's just a matter of how quickly this happens, and it does depend on the world's support.
So guys, I'm going to post down below in the video description all of the links around how you can support this cause. I'm also going to be streaming my Friday night, so that's from 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. EST, Hell Hades TV. We're going to be doing a fundraiser for the appeal, in which HH Gaming are going to be giving generously as well. But if you guys can spare anything, come and join us for that stream, and we're going to try and raise some money and send it to the Red Cross appeal down below. Also, I'm just going to put a link here to Deadwood Jedi's video with Oracle, someone else that we know from Raid Shadow Legends, and you can kind of go and see their conversation there as well. Anyway, guys, I will catch you soon.